Hello and welcome back to Motivational Mondays. I have the lovely Marina and Michelle with me tonight, and we're just going to have a little discussion about all things reselling and then just what they like to do, because a lot of people miss out on who they are. And I like to kind of get to know people and try to know who they are outside of the reselling game. But to start off, I just want to have you guys just introduce yourself really quick, just in case there's anybody out there that don't already. I mean, because I feel like everybody in the Instagram community, not everybody, because it's growing all the time, but a lot of people do already know you. But anyways, I'll let you go ahead and do your intro.
Of course, yeah. So my name is Marina.
My name is Michelle.
And we started this reselling journey, which is basically just finding things to sell online. And they're mostly secondhand items that we started with. I think it was over 2 years now. We're going into our 3rd year. And the reason we started doing this was because we purchased a home a couple years ago, a new house, and it required that we create a new backyard, right? So we were thinking like, hey, is there a way we could get money outside of our paychecks to like help pay for the backyard? Because it was going to be $14,000. So yeah, so, right. So it would be really nice to not have to dip in our paychecks. So we were watching this guy named Gary V. I don't know if you are. He's pretty popular. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're watching him, and we saw where he went to a garage sale. And he went on eBay and he found like a stuffed animal for like $1.25, and then found it would sell for $9 on eBay. And we're like, hey, what if we try to do that? That's like easy, right? So we tried it. In our first garage sale, Michelle found these really cool kid drum set. And the lady was selling it for $5, and Michelle's negotiated it for $4. And I was like, wow, that was like our first time doing this. I would have just paid the $5 because I don't know better. I'm like, $5 is decent. And so we went home. Michelle listed it on offer for $50, and it sold immediately. And so we were hooked after that. So that's kind of our journey.
Yeah, that's how it started. And we paid off our backyard.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't 100% through reselling. We also were gifted money from friends and family. Okay. So that was also helpful. And we also use the resale money to help pay surgeries for our dog. So it was a huge help. We're talking like thousands of dollars. So yeah. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Exciting. It's really cool.
With this backyard, because I'm like, $14,000 is so much money.
Yeah.
What else did you need? I mean, I'm just like, I can imagine spending $14,000 on a backyard. I mean, I spent like $2,500 just doing like the grass and stuff, but no fence or anything. So I do know it can cost a little bit of money. Did you need grass and stuff too, or?
Yeah, it's a decent amount of work. Like we had to build a retaining wall. Our backyard had like a little slope, and then Marina actually designed it. So we did that's more like a Japanese garden, Zen style. So there's a little bit of design into it, and we did like a lot of concrete. So it added up quite a bit.
Yes. Oh, concrete is expensive. My sister had just a little portion of concrete put into to make hers a little bit longer than what it came with the house. And that was a chunk of money just to get that. So I do know that concrete does cost a couple dollars. But what I wanted to talk about with you guys is how you do it all, really. I was like, how do you get all this stuff done? Because I was looking at you guys' link tree, and I was like, you guys do so much. You have podcasts, you do YouTube, so first, I guess we could talk about what do you do during the day, because we know you're part-time. So what do you do first? And then how do you get everything else done? Like who does what, Yeah,
I'll start. I have a background in advertising marketing. So I work for a firm that does branding. So technically I work for an ad agency, you can call it. And I work full time. And Marina?
Yeah, and I'm considered a part-time teacher. I teach adults English as a second language, but my job is anything but part-time, right, Michelle?
She works more than I do, and I'm the full-timer.
A lot of hours go into that. So we're pretty busy, with 40-hour-a-week jobs minimum. And with the extra time that we have left over, this is like our hobby. So we love the space. We got addicted to learning about business. Michelle loves vintage items. So that's kind of our focus is vintage items. We love history. Now, recently, though, I think with the pandemic and everything, it's been quite stressful. And then just working from home and all of that, Michelle has had a need to kind of step back a bit and do much like self-care, more self-care time. So this is what, the last month or two, a month or so, right?
Yeah. And we did get some help. We did hire a VA.
That's right.
So that kind of automated the process a little bit. So that's really helpful.
That was really helpful. So we did, because Michelle's needing to step back, we had to hire someone to help take over some of her tasks. So for example, listing. So now we have a virtual assistant. She lives in the Philippines, and we've been working with her we're going on our 3rd week. And it was a lot of work up front to train her. So Michelle was busy training her. And at first she was like, oh man, I have to train her. I thought I was going to get like time off. And now this is a lot of work, but now it's working out pretty well.
Oh yeah, no, it's smooth now. I basically created a training guide. So in the future, if there are other VAs, then it'll be easy to do a handoff.
Exactly. So I think that's one of the keys too, is to have like somebody, that you can, I don't know, like a VA that's good that you can train. I mean, did she already have some experience with it? Yeah.
No.
That's very good though, because then they don't bring any bad habits. That's the part that's good. Anything that they used to do or did for somebody else, they don't have any past. It's just whatever you taught them. So if you had that guide, that's good. I don't have like I wanted to do like, one of my other friends was like, I think I should do like what is it called? Like a handbook. That way they know what to do when they need to take a vacation, when they're sick or whatever. They shouldn't have to feel overwhelmed it depends on how many days a week. I don't know how many days you're having her work, but they're just like a regular person too. So, you have to give them an opportunity to have time off and stuff like that as well. Because I know for me, I'm strongly considering, actually, I'm training my mother tomorrow. So I'll be doing the part of the business that's like, hands-on, where I can, have her here and like have her look at my, balance my books and stuff like that. Like, cause I hate that, but she's really good at it. So I was like, I'm gonna have her do it because I'm getting ready to move soon too. Like in a couple months, I got to move. Like actually it's like 90 days and then I'm moving. So that's another thing. So I was like, I don't really want to have somebody in my house right now. Just that I have to train because I'm going to be in and out. So, you know what I mean? Like, so if we're in the house and then with COVID, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, it's better for me to do that with her. And so she's only going to do like maybe 2 or 3 days a week. And then what she doesn't do, that's what I was going to have the VA do. But I decided that I was going to have the VA keep it simple to start. You know what I mean? Like, I think that when I was talking to the VAs, because I've interviewed now 3 or 4 of them, now it's like, I feel like you guys, like they might not be able to get this, you know what I mean? But actually, if you work with them, I do think they can get it. I just think I need to break it off in bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying? Because my spreadsheet is ridiculous. And I'm going to go over it with a good friend of mine as well before I have like my mom officially start on this. My mom can do it. She's smarter than a whip with the paperwork. She does taxes and stuff. Okay. So she'll get it. But it is intricate. And so I was just like, I probably might need to take some of the fields out. Like the day I purchased the item, maybe just leave that on the receipt. Don't put that on my actual spreadsheet, that sort of thing. But I like seeing everything at a glance. And so when I don't see that in my SKU, I don't know how I'm going to feel. I guess I'd have to do it and just try to like get over it because it does take more time to do it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I know. I mean, those are the kind of decisions you have to take when you are training and hiring someone. For us, like the only thing we're having the VA do is enter new listings on Vendu and relisting. So it is very basic. And I think we discussed like, oh, maybe we want her to do more, but exactly what you said. We're going to start extremely simple. When she masters that, then we can think about adding other things later. So actually she was only doing 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. Nothing on the weekends, because like you said, she's a human too, and she's younger, she has kids, and she wants to have some free time. So it's not really going to hurt us if she just works Monday through Friday. You know, if we have time, we can list. If we don't, it's fine, right? So it's more than we were doing without the VA anyway. So so then we added 1 more hour. So now she's doing 4 hours a day. So again, this is all like with her approval. And we did discuss, would you be open to more hours in the future, possibly doing full time? And she said yes. And another thing she's really adamant about is like taking holidays. So we looked up online, like what are the customs in the Philippines? So if it's a part-time job, then they don't get a paid holiday. But if you want to take off holidays, you can. And then if you do decide to work them, you will get double pay. So that's like the custom in the Philippines. Yeah.
That's why I was like, you know, that handbook probably be a good idea. You know what I mean? That way they already have that. But I think you learn as you go with some of the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to have the handbook, but I definitely want to have like guides for them. Just to start with the relisting and stuff like that, something that's already done so they can just get the hang of at least what are they even doing. I think it's great hard, you know, because that's what I said I was going to do for my mom, like just put everything in a spreadsheet and then let her work from the spreadsheet and kind of just explain it. Like, why do I do it this way? Like, you know, I have certain things that I do and then, you know, like a certain order. Like you guys probably do that too, where you like do like whatever the brand is, the gender and the size, you know, like I do it that way. And so it's like, you know, I didn't know if I needed to come up with, because like a lot of people don't like, they like hands-on or they're visual learners. So like, I'm not going to write it all down because she's probably not going to be looking at it. So I was just like, I'd rather just tell her and have her do like every time she comes over 2 or 3 hours, just tell her how to do that and see how she's doing with that and go from there instead of like, doing all this with the guides, because I feel like people don't be wanting to read that stuff, because the last time I hired, I bet she didn't read it, because it definitely had like a lot of stuff on there. So, you know what I mean? Like, and then I realized, like you guys probably realized in the beginning, that this was just too much, you know, to start. You know, I think if I would have got somebody that was experienced because of the language barrier, I think it was just a lot to start off. But anyways, I VA stuff all day long, but it is a good help because you need to be able to take care of yourself too. And, you know, in the past, like, remember I was telling you guys in the DM, I was the type of person that'll work from the morning all the way up until the night till I'm just tired and can't go anymore. That's not good. You know what I mean? Like,
it's good, but it can be bad, right? You gotta have a little break in between.
Recall like a time where you did that, and then like where you just realized that you were, at first maybe you didn't realize it, but a time where you did it and you realized now this is too much, and what you did.
Oh, totally. I'm like you. So I can wake up at 6 a.m. and go to bed at midnight working nonstop. I'm exactly like you, Brittany. So I'm grateful that, you know, Michelle has had this time where she needs to slow down, because it has now forced us, like, we have it planned on our schedule. Friday nights, we each do our own thing. And then Saturday, Michelle chooses what we do. And then Sunday, I choose what we do. So there's so much downtime. And it's something I needed that I didn't know I needed, if that makes sense. So I'm really grateful that we're different speeds in terms of that. It's nice.
Yeah, because I know you mentioned that she needed to take a break. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I mean, it is important. Hi, Christy. Kristy's in the house.
Hi, Christy.
Welcome. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, that just taking care of yourself is definitely important. It's key. I mean, for me, I do the working out. I do the things like that calm me down. I was going to ask you guys where your favorite place is to go. I know everybody pretty much likes to travel. Where do you like to go, like to have fun?
Like travel or like on the weekend or?
Both. Both.
Well, we love to travel. Yeah. So Marina's favorite place is Paris. and I love Japan.
Yeah.
So that would be our favorite spots. And then locally, we like to go to the beach. We usually take the dogs to the beach, and we like to eat.
That sums it up. So if you don't see us, we're doing one of those things,
Yeah.
right?
I love to eat too, but you know what? I was telling everybody on Hello Sunday that I felt like I was getting ready to turn into a Goodyear blimp because, over the past couple weeks when we had that storm and stuff, I just wasn't doing as much as I normally do. But I've gotten back into the saddle and I've started back up and starting to wake up again at 4. I wasn't waking up at 4 because my fiance, he works on the road. He's away a lot. And so when he's home, it gets hard to juggle. That's another reason why, like, I know some people probably look at me and they're like, you don't make that much money. Like I make like a few thousand a month. I don't make that much money. Mm-hmm. Why is she hiring a VA? Why is she doing all that? Because I need the balance. I really I can't keep going this way without the balance because I want to be able to, when he comes home, give him my full attention. So if I have somebody already helping me that week that he comes home, I just kind of maybe give them a little bit more work that week or whatever and have them doing something. So that way I'm not feeling so torn in between getting the work done and trying to spend the time. Because I promise you, it really tears me up because I want to be there as well. Plus I'm a mother. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do other things besides just work.
I feel like we're the same person. That's exactly how I feel. I feel guilty, that I'm giving all my time to the business, but I love the business. I totally understand you. The really cool thing about the VA though, which anyone who doesn't have a VA, if you're unsure, definitely do your research. It's much more affordable than we think. And that said, it will increase your sales. You will make the money you're using to pay the VA and some. So definitely highly, highly recommend to just get on that ASAP.
The other benefit is also consistency because I would sometimes I'm burnt out from work. I'm like, I don't want to list. I don't want to do photos. I just want to sit on the couch, And if you have a VA, they're there because they commit to it.
Right. Yeah. And I think, like you said, you don't have to start out with making them do 100 listings, or you don't have to. You can start wherever your budget will allow.
Exactly.
Just start small and then go up. I think if you can pay $50 for Vendu or for List Perfectly, then you can pay $50 to start for a and some. Some time, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's giving me. It's going to give me a little bit more time to be able to just relax sometimes a little bit more than what I have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's important. But I wanted to welcome Rhonda. Hello, Rhonda.
Hi, Diva.
Hi, Diva.
Christy says she definitely needs an assistant. And like I said, I just think that even whatever level you're on, I think, like I said, if you can afford List Perfectly, you can do it. You don't have to be making a whole bunch of money just to get one. Because I think some people, they just think that you have to make a bunch of money to have an assistant. But really, you're getting assistance.
You are.
Balance everything out. I think that's my reason for doing it. And like I was going to ask you about how much, but you don't have to tell me the specifics. But are you hourly? Or is she hourly, or is she
hourly?
Because you can do it. Okay, she's
hourly, and there's a couple of different ways, like different third parties that will help you hire an assistant. So we actually used to have an assistant before, and then we stopped because it was getting too expensive for us. We had her working for us like 40 hours a week, and it was like $400 a month. So that was too expensive for us. Yeah, and so we had to change that out to we got like a listing service for Poshmark. Actually, it was but that actually we ended up stopping too. And it was reasonable. It was only $150 a month, but at some point we decided like, hey, let's just get the cross listing app for $50 a month. Right. We actually ended up we use Vendu. We did try out List Perfectly too, but we ended up sticking with Vendu. And then so we're like, okay, so we've gone from 400 to 150 to 50. This is reasonable. But then again, that was requiring our time. And as Michelle mentioned, we were not consistent because if we're busy with work, then we couldn't list that day. So we should have done this a long, long, long time ago, gotten the VA. I'm like, yeah, if you think, oh, the VA is be 50 a month, which is actually quite realistic. It could be about 50 a month or 100. Before we didn't know alternative ways of getting a VA. Well, maybe not that low, maybe like 100. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry. But even just part-time, like how we started 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. And it's making like the amount of like she's paying for her own way, just with her work, you know, and we're getting so much more. So please don't be on the fence about it. If you are, you know, Brittany has really good tips on she can see the value. Please go for it. You are going to be the happiest person on the planet if you do this.
If you don't take care of you, you can't do anything else with your business or anything else. And that's why I was like, okay, I really need this balance. Like, you know,
go to happy hour, hire a VA and go treat yourself. To Margarita.
I said to myself, I need to have a little bit more fun. And I've been doing that too. Like I've been having some play dates. You guys saw I got up with Rhonda and a couple of girls in, you know, in Texas, here in Texas where I'm at. And you need that. You need that time away. You need girl time. You have all that stuff just balances it out. But Terry says you need it to go to the next level, which I think is true too. Like, I don't know what business can operate without help. You know, like, so really trying to like stay in business and like move up, which I don't know if you two are wanting to, like, is that something you see yourself doing at some point, like not working and just doing that, or you just like it and you just, you know, we'll see where it goes, you know what I mean? Or what do you think? Like, would you do that, or is that the direction that you want to take, or you're okay, you know, just working?
Do you mean like our day jobs, like letting go of the day jobs? And
are you going in that direction of wanting to get out of your day job, or will you just stay, you know, or are you just staying there for now because you're happy doing both, and that's okay too? Like, you don't. I just was wondering, you know.
It's a really good question, and I think, you know, you should have goals. I don't know if we have. Like, for me as a teacher, I just want to be a teacher for the rest of my life, right? So like, it will be very difficult for me to give up the job. Now, I teach English as a second language. I don't mind teaching different subjects, but I think until I pass away in some capacity or another, I'm going to remain a teacher and a learner. So I'm always learning. Like right now, I am currently enrolled in 2 courses. So that's how I'm. Michelle, ask Michelle. Like, I've taken computer coding classes. I'm taking a couple online classes about doing a better job as a teacher, and about like teaching online as well. So that's never going to go away. Now, if we could grow the business, that'd be great. If that can be our main hustle and teaching's my side hustle, I'm totally open to that. How about you, Michelle?
For me, I absolutely love my job. Actually, I think it's rare for people to say like I love my job.
Right.
So, you know, I'm fortunate to have a good group of people to work with. I get to work with really awesome clients. So, I mean, even if like I get paid less, I would still stick with my job. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see where it takes us, but you know, we enjoy both at this point.
Yeah, we enjoy it all. We feel like it may make us more money to just stick with the one and grow it and scale it. Sorry, but we like to do all of this, so we don't. You know, why not do what you want? We want to be balanced in our day jobs, in our side hustle, in our R&R, rest and relaxation. You know, we just want to do it all. So that's just our way. And we're not trying to be like multimillionaires or anything like that. We're just like strategically, logically trying to plan our retirement. So that is one focus. And we do think through reselling that we can make some extra cash in order to do that. And so there's different ways, right? We're also very interested in real estate. So we also think that's one way that we can, you know, plan for retirement later on. Sorry?
I absolutely love real estate.
Right? I mean, that's like, that's one way to gain wealth, right? And generally build generational wealth. I was wondering about you, Brittany. How about you? Do you have a desire to change your main hustle?
You know, I do, you know, like we talked about one project that I have going on right now, but it's not really that I want to change the hustle. I love everything that I'm doing right now, but I do want to change more of my focus out of the things that somebody else could do and do the things that I love about what I do, like this. This is one of those things that I do that I actually love. I love talking to people, bringing people together in the community, networking, that sort of thing, and motivating others and lifting each other up, that whole sisterhood spirit and all of that. I love all of that, supporting small businesses, all that kind of stuff. You know, that's what I really want to do, is just be a pillar in the community. You know what I mean? Like, overall, you know what I mean? But you do that through everything that you do, like all of your stuff that you do offer, like what you guys are doing. I wanted to mention, I didn't know you guys had that, like you have like a book out about the 20 mistakes, you know, and so I like that, you know, anything that you can add back to the community, all of that for me is ahead. Like you guys are well ahead of me, but I don't feel like I want to rush, if that makes sense. Like, because if you rush, you start making little mistakes, and you're already a teacher. I don't have a teacher background, but I was like admiring, like when you guys were on Instagram, I was like, the way that you did your presentations and stuff, I hadn't seen anything like that on there. So I want to give kudos to you.
That's Michelle.
I was like, it's probably an application, you know. Have you heard of this? And I was like, no. So, yeah, but I just thought it was interesting. And then I noticed that you guys I moved from Instagram to YouTube as well, just to, you know, to be able to give more information and go a little longer, I think. You know, and I mean, the monetization is there, and so at some point it'll actually grow and people can come back to this information as well. So I just thought, why not do it over on YouTube, where you can just go, you know, you can go further with it. And I like the format a little bit better over here. I don't know about you guys. What do you like? Like, what do you think the difference is? Is that kind of what made you go to YouTube, or what made you go to YouTube?
Yeah, for the same reason, that's why we went to YouTube. I think there's a broader audience and potential to gain more audience. But we absolutely love the IG Live. They're just so much fun. It's so much more interactive for some reason. I don't know why.
It is.
Oh my God, it is more interactive. I agree. I mean, but I think the more you show up here, and you guys definitely do a great job of showing up. You know?
Thank you.
So I mean, I think you're pretty consistent. You know what I mean? So, and that's what it takes. Like me with my shows, I'm pretty consistent with that. But the videos, I'm still having trouble with the editing. You know what I mean? So I don't put as many videos up for that reason, because that's what the kink is for me, and I don't want to take 2 or 3 hours to like edit a video. But you know, when you're learning, you just have to kind of give yourself a little bit of room. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. So I just I have 3 lives that I do, and then one I do one video. I try to put out one video a week.
That's really great. That's
a lot. I feel like it's not enough. I'm just like, I wish I could do one every single day. You know, like drop one thing every single day, because the more you show up, obviously, you know, the more people will see you and will get to enjoy what you have to offer. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right. Yes. And a lot of people do enjoy like consistent content being put out. So.
Yeah, it's like a routine for people.
Yes.
Indeed. I wanted to say hi to Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Wendy is one of the sweetest and just wonderful spirit, like, people that I know. You know what I mean? Like, not too many are around like her. She's really awesome. I love her. Terry, also love her as well. You guys know you. You guys know well, yeah. But yeah, the IG community is great. I do love doing lives over there. I'm still trying to figure out how I could do one other thing live over there per week. But I didn't want it to be like an interview, but like maybe just something kind of fun. I don't know. You know, just something fun and interactive. So I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet, but once I figure it out, I guess I'll be over there. Tiana's giving you a little shout out here. So if you guys aren't following the Flipping Girls,
Thank
you
you.
definitely should. You know what I mean? You definitely should.
Tiana.
Thank you guys.
Really good content, and it's very informational, and you can learn from what they have, and they're willing to let you, if you have something that you want to put in and say, hey, this is what I've learned. They acknowledge everybody. Like when they come in the chat, they acknowledge that you're there. I've been to some chats where, I mean, I get it if it's 100 or 200 people in there, okay, to everybody, but some of them, they don't. And so it's nice when when you get in there, you notice everybody, you say hi to everybody, and let everybody have a little bit of a voice. I like that.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, we actually, when we're doing the lives, like, it's really fun. I mean, we are putting some information out, but believe it or not, like, we're learning from each other. So
yeah,
and it is actually translated into a podcast. So we want to make sure like any information that is contributed on the chat is getting put out there, because like we are women and we're very conscious of where we are on the pay scale, like on a global basis, right? Especially we recently had, it was like Women's Pay Day Awareness Day or something like that, Equal Pay Day. So I'm a Hispanic woman. So as a Hispanic woman, I'm actually statistically the lowest on the pay scale of all women in the US. And so basically it is my mission, it is our mission to, talk about how much we do pay a VA, how much we are making. We are transparent, and the items that we're selling, what we're bringing in. Sometimes we do decently, sometimes we don't. But we want to make sure, especially, women who are out there trying to do a side hustle to supplement the wages that they're not equal, that we're not making in the workforce. And so, so we want to make sure that we're, sharing the information that we get from anybody that we learn from as well. And like, if we share something we learn from someone else, we want to make sure that we give credit. Oh, hey, we learned how to package these large TVs from Vasquez Vintage. Please follow them. They're an awesome resource, reseller resource.
I love that. I did that on my last interview when I had the interview with the Posh Kings, and I think they gave a tip to me, and that actually ended up being my reseller tip for the week. But actually it came from them, and it seems like every time I interview them, I get one major key takeaway or something, and then usually we'll put that on there. But I always try to give the credit, because I didn't actually, even if it was something that I knew about, but they just reminded me, I just didn't give the credit anyway. Like, why?
Really nice.
Like, it doesn't bother me. But I was going to ask you guys, if you had all the money, or if you won the lottery or something, to do whatever you wanted to do. I know you said you really liked real estate. Would you then quit? No, like, what would you do? I mean, you just keep working and just keep the $1 million or $1 billion lotto or whatever it is.
Well,
how much is it? First of all,
what would you do with the money? Yeah,
you said $1 million.
A lot of money,
$1 million? Oh, okay, got it.
Well, I would work smarter, not harder. I would use the money to make more money for retirement. But of course, I think financial freedom is definitely like our ultimate goal, and not like, we don't want to be billionaires with a mansion, but we want to make sure we don't have to worry about finance anymore when we get older. So once we reach that, once we have a plan, then I know we definitely want to do some charity work, around different organizations that we care about. And I know Marina's like really big on animals. She loves dogs so much that I'm sure she would definitely want to help out with, shelters and things like that.
Yeah, I love all animals 100%. But yeah, our goal is financial freedom. But what does that mean? That doesn't mean like we want to have enough passive income where we could like sit down and binge on Netflix all day. That is not what we mean by financial freedom. So like what we actually would like to achieve is just having the flexibility of time. So like if one day we want to take a 1 month vacation or a trip from our very hectic and busy schedules, we can afford to do that, right? Like everything's put in place. We'll be able to like take time off to do that. Also, we're very concerned about having an emergency fund, because those emergencies, you never know, they can be anything. They can be a natural disaster. It could be a death in the family. It could be losing a job. So that's something that we want to secure as well. As far as like nonprofit organizations, yeah, I've been actually donating to animal shelter in the city where my family lives. I found him on Instagram and I like fell in love. So I've been donating to them for years now, but definitely, you know, if we could find a space in there, that would be great. I know our monies would be very small in comparison to what other people could do, but the idea is, right, when it comes to money, and we're talking about money, I'm happy to do that. As women, we need to. And I saw that Terry mentioned in there that us women, we need to be better at asking for that. Thank you. Yes, for that pay in corporate America. 1000% agree. So number one, we need to discuss what our wages are between each other. And number two, we do need to ask for that pay. And there's a couple of things that resonate as far as that goes. And I remember, I want to share, maybe you already know this, but Oprah Winfrey, when she talks about a story when she asked for a raise corporate in her job as an anchor. I believe the story goes like this, where she was denied it. When she went to ask why, they said, well, you are not like, you know, she was told like, she's not like the breadwinner, I believe. It was a story like that. And so that was really, you know, striking, because that's oftentimes, you know, men in families could say, hey, I need a raise. I'm the breadwinner. I'm maintaining my family. But how many single parents are there out there, right? And but isn't that even just discriminatory if you are, you know, just a woman? A lot of the single parents are often women. I was raised by a single parent. My father passed away when I was young, and my mother raised us as a single parent. And it's really, really tough out there. So.
Yeah, it really is. I definitely totally agree with you. And I didn't know about that story. I've listened to quite a bit of Oprah stuff. I mean, I think everybody has, but I actually didn't know about that. I remember the story she told about the color purple, which was very, very compelling. You know what I mean? Like how everything just kind of came together and how she was raised and all of that, you know, and it was really good. But I don't remember that one. Like, I don't remember her talking about that one, but I do appreciate you definitely sharing that with me and with everyone on the live tonight. I also want to ask you guys something I ask just about everybody because it's interesting, you know.
Okay.
But, what is your favorite thing about reselling, and then what's your least? Like, what do you like the most, and then what's probably the biggest drawback about it?
Oh my God, that's an easy one. Favorite thing is absolutely learning, especially going to estate sales, learning the story behind the people who own the items, and also just discovering vintage items. Like, just there's so much history, and like we've gotten letters from, you know, people wrote letters in like the 50s, the 40s, and you just get to know their lives, and we just find that so fascinating. In history, historical events, man landing on the moon, I wasn't that into it until we found the newspaper. So that's my favorite thing. My least favorite thing would probably be, I wouldn't say taking pictures. I think it's a little bit of like everything. Yeah. Sometimes I drag myself to take photos when I don't want to, and listing, you know.
Yeah. I don't think just about probably 80% of the, you know, reseller community probably just doesn't really like listing. I guess because it's not the most exciting part of it. I mean, it's really not. It's the most, I think, mundane of all the activities. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I have to turn on some music. I don't know about y'all, but I don't. In the background, it gets kind of boring just sitting at the computer just listing. I mean, I have to pull myself to do that. Terry said, or Rhonda said, exactly, Terry, and that alone is a full-time job. She was talking about this comment, I believe the mentality could work for the 1950s, but more women are taking care of the households now. That's so true. You know what I mean? I was a single mother for a long time before my current that I'm with right now. And in fact, I've never really allowed anybody to even help me with the stuff. I did it all on my own. So it's different for me to actually like let somebody do it. And I think I had to work on that part of myself. That's a whole nother conversation about femininity, because like I had to learn down because I'm so used to doing everything. You know what I mean? But the man's gonna be like, you know, you're doing every doggone thing. What do you need me for? You know what I mean? So I had to like actually read some books, you know, and get a little bit more in tune with that side. It's not that I'm like manly, but when it comes to taking care of business, I want to do just about everything. So, you know what I mean? But some of it you have to step back and just allow them to be able to come in and step in. So I'm excited to have somebody else to change our light bulb. To be
there you go. Yes.
Take out the trash. One thing that I don't have to do, you know, like everything. So that's nice. Yeah. But anyways, I also want to ask you, since it is Motivational Mondays, you know, what do you do? Like, what keeps you motivated? And then I always do these 2-part questions. And then what what happens when that motivation runs out? Because every now and again it runs out. And then what do you do?
Good question.
Yeah. You're the motivator. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. What keeps you motivated, like in terms of like, you know, the business, or what are we referring?
I want to say life.
Okay.
I think that's important overall. It's really how you feel overall, because you have to be in tune with, like, fully aware of what's going on. Because if you're not, that's why I took a cold shower the other day. No, like, I didn't get no cold shower, but actually it wakes you up. You know what I mean? And it makes you more self-aware, and it takes you out of your comfort zone, which I feel like if you're out of your comfort zone, then you're constantly growing. So anything that takes you out of that, that's where the growth is at. That's where you actually need to be. You know what I mean? And not to a point to where you're going to be super stressed out. Don't take on too many projects, especially with work. But I mean, you know, definitely expand yourself. But for me, the motivation, when it runs out, I personally rely on discipline. If you don't have that, I just don't feel like you're really going to be able to make it. Now, and I can't say every time I try to discipline myself, I make it either. Sometimes I don't make it, like, or I didn't get the workout done, or whatever it was that I wanted to get done, or it might have just been a time constraint. But the important thing is how you treat yourself. That's what I was saying. Being self-aware is important. Just because you didn't make it does not mean you beat yourself up and keep telling yourself, I'm not gonna be able to, you did, maybe they were right. I can't do this or whatever. No. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to remember not to beat on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't beat yourself with your words, And so, but anyway, I'll let you guys explain like what you do when your motivation runs out. I said I wouldn't talk about religion too much, but that is something that I do. I will pray because that's what I believe in, but I don't want to offend anybody. But anyway, that's another thing that I do, and it works well. He answered.
Yeah. That's really respectful of you to put it that way. I don't see a lot of people doing that. So thank you. That was really nice. Motivation. What motivates me? Honestly, I wake up happy every single day. Like, as long as I'm feeling well, I'm a pretty happy person. But I like learning. So some of what you said, Brittany, I love learning. So putting myself in situations, like you said, that push the envelope to grow, such as taking courses, challenging myself and like my brain, and also meeting new people and fostering new relationships, that motivates me every single day. Another thing that if I'm feeling a little bit down or burnt out is spending time in person with my family really reignites that energy for me. So that's mine. How about yours, Michelle?
For mine, late last year, I actually found out like I have a little bit of health issue. Like I had this autoimmune disorder that I discovered. So anyway, that on its own really motivated me to take care of myself. So I do a lot of meditation. I meditate every day. And it's a guided meditation, so I get a message every day. So that really keeps me motivated. And exercising also it's like you need to be motivated to exercise, but exercising motivates me. So that really puts me in a good mood too. And for some reason, like I changed my diet, starting December or January, and that impacted my, my energy. It's just more positive. It's weird. And she feels it too. She says I'm grumpy when I eat bad.
Well, yeah, I noticed like a mood change for the better when Michelle changed her diet from unhealthy to healthy for this disorder that that she is recently going through. But all of a sudden, she's like so optimistic and happy, and she had no idea. But for me, it was like night and day. Now I've been like learning about nutrition since I was in college. It's just like interesting and it makes sense. I think if you have like a healthier diet with less like refined sugars and processed foods, it can affect, I think, your mood. So yeah, I mean, yay.
I think that I'm doing better too now that, like I can't say that I'm on the straight and narrow, but one thing that I'm definitely leaning on or leaning towards, I'm afraid that once I do really get into the diet, like real strong, I just don't want to push it on people. Because it changes you so much and it does so much good for you. That's why you want to talk about it all the time. You're like, if you did this or you could change that up and then, you could do this and then, the agriculture and, the this and the trees and I'm starting to really read up on the stuff, the ocean and like this fish and stuff and all that. It just makes me be more of a humanitarian type person. I'm afraid I'm going to turn into one of those, like really earthy people, just doesn't want you to use any plastic or whatever, you know what I mean? It is better for our environment. I think anything we can do as human beings to make our environment better is going to be better overall, because you got to be thinking about not just you where you're at, but down the line, the whole generation, what are they going to do in 30 years when we keep doing some of the things that we're doing right now? And then that turns into not so good for that generation. And so that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's been really on my mind. And I'm like, what can I do to help impact that and to help other people understand how serious it is that if we don't take action, we all have to come together and do something about it. Just start doing something. You know what I mean? You don't have to change overnight your chicken. If you don't want to stop eating meat at all, okay, but can we do something to move in the direction? Because some of the stuff that we're doing right now as Americans and the way our society is set up is not set up for us to win down the road. And that's the truth. And so it's just hard for me to talk about it sometimes because it can be a down kind of topic, but it's true. And so I've been trying to figure out how to get this out without it being, I don't know, just not good. You know what I mean? I still want you to get excited about it because I think, like she said, it could be like a negative. You thought it was a negative, but it ended up turning into a positive. If you have to eat better, then that's actually better for you. And so it actually, it was a good thing, that happened because that was the positive in it. And I think everything that happens to you, I don't even think things happen to you. I think they happen for you. And then it's what you do after that. That happened for you. And then it's what you do after that happens. So that's just how I look at it. You know what I mean? So I wanted to say hi to Liz. And there was a couple of comments and I thought they were probably important. So I said, let's go back to them. Christy, that is so true. They tell us not to discuss it because they're not paying us what we are worth. And quite often the person to the right is getting paid less than you and the left is getting paid more. Christy's telling the truth.
Yep. True story.
Perry says, when I was in corporate America, I actually got combative with men regarding pay, and I did not regret it. But one man had the nerve to say, you got an attitude because you are a Black woman, SMH. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I didn't want to, like I said, we had some pretty hard times with this whole women in the pay situation. And we still are. I think it's still going on right now, unfortunately. It is still going on. So it's like Terry said, though, I think the best thing we can do is speak up for ourselves. And just like Oprah said, make sure that, you have a voice, and use your voice, you don't have to stay where you're at. You don't have to feel oppressed. You know what I mean? I certainly don't. I don't feel oppressed. I try to get out here as much as I can. So if you are, at a job and you're not happy with your job or you're not happy with the pay, then I encourage you to reach out and to definitely read up. read up, because there are steps that you can take. I'm not the specialist in that department, but there's definitely steps that you can take and reach out to some of these wonderful women in the community. And I know that you guys, you'll be there if they need somebody. You can DM them, or you can DM Terry. I'm sure Christy, because she's had to deal with it as well. And I mean, I even dealt with it when I worked in retail management. So yeah. Same thing, But I wanted to say hi to my good friend Liz. How are you, Liz? Thank you so much for joining. And then Christy says they love to play that card with us, mad black woman syndrome, call it what you want, but let's deal with the actual issues. I hear you. Yeah. And then she said, I was like, Rihanna, I want my money. So she said, so true regarding health. You do need to talk about it. Absolutely. Yes, it happens for you. Love it, Brittany. Yeah, things don't happen to me. They happen for me. I just absolutely love it because because something bad could happen, like a car accident or something like that. But I don't feel like that the car accident necessarily would have to be bad, because it's about what you do. It's not what happens to you. It's about what you do after the fact. So now what are you going to do?
Yep.
Live life on your own terms, But Liz says, hey, Brittany, grocery shopping. Oh, thank you so much for even being in the grocery store and listening to me. I'll tell you what, one thing I want to tell everybody that's listening right now, if you ever join into a live and you can't chat, or you can't be in the chat, and you leave it up going in the background, I think that's one of the most sweetest things that you can do, even if you can't listen either, because you're doing your groceries or you're talking to somebody or whatever. I leave it up because I know what it's like. I'm a YouTuber, so I know that you need that watch time to get to where you want to be. So I'll just leave it up in the background. That's one of the nicest things that you can possibly do for one of us YouTubers, even if you can't, at that time, because I know sometimes I'm driving, but I'll sit there and drive and I'll listen. I may not be communicating, and you'll see that number on the screen and you're like, okay, I know there's more people in here than that. I do that sometimes, just so you know, but I know that it helps. So I'm there, the support, because I'm all about that support. So, but also one thing that I don't do that you guys do is Etsy. And I really wanted you guys to talk, because I saw like a webinar bundle on your link tree, I think. And like, I know you do vintage on there, but do you do other types of things on there too? Like, what can you do with Etsy? Because I'm the type of person that I don't know a whole lot about Etsy. I'm kind of scared almost, I think, of Etsy, because I don't know vintage, or I don't do like handmade and stuff. And so I'm like, well, I'm not creative enough to be on Etsy, because I don't make anything. So for people like that, what would your maybe suggestion be, or what's the webinar about? I'm interested in that too. I'm like, is that something that you do regularly, like webinars for it?
Yeah. So it's a 3-part series, and basically Etsy surprised both of us. And Etsy is now our best performing platform out of all the platforms. And I think they're not marketing themselves well enough, because I feel like a lot of people can get into Etsy. You could do print on demand. You could sell vintage items, anything vintage, which is 20 years and older. You can make your own crafts. You can make masks. There's so much you could do on there. You can sell jewelry. And the webinar is really 3 parts. First part is about, what is Etsy? How do you sign up for a store? How does it work?
But also, what if you don't know what to sell? We give ideas on different things that you can sell on there. It's much more diverse, because I know if you just say, oh, okay, well, you could sell handmade, or you could sell vintage, or you could sell, what was it?
Print on demand.
Print on demand. But it's not just that limited. People are the really cool thing about Etsy is that it's a creative space, and there's so much you could do that doesn't require you to be crafty, because we don't consider ourselves crafty at all. So
yeah. And then the second part is about how do you list your items effectively? How do you use the Etsy ads they have this thing called Etsy ads and offsite ads. They're amazing at SEO. So a lot of people found us because of their SEO. They Google something, they found our items. So for us, they're more effective than eBay and any other platforms.
Okay.
And then the last webinar is about managing your shop. How do you keep it consistent? What kind of tools can you use on Etsy? How do you look at your statistics in your store? So yeah, that's what it's super informative. Again, 3 very extensive presentations.
Okay.
They are, and I've been thinking, and we just haven't gotten to it, but I would like to cut the price off in half of what we're currently offering them, forever, just so that because sales on that we haven't been promoting it, but we do want people to learn it. It's really valuable. You'll make your money back right away if you apply the things in the webinar, and everything that we explain in the webinar is exactly what we're doing. So if you just exactly copy it, there's no doubt you'll make your money back and some. And again, it is our #1 platform. So right now we do have 2 shops. We have a vintage shop, and then we have a print-on-demand shop. And the print-on-demand shop, Michelle, it was her idea to start it. So we started in August of last year. And but she stepped back. So she hasn't had time to work on it this year. Our sales on that are a little bit over $7,000 so far this year. And it's not bad, right?
Print on demand? Wow.
Print on demand, yeah. And then and this year, that one you do have to continually feed. So if you're not coming out with new designs continually, your sales are going to wane. And so again, with some of the health issues that Michelle's been having, and that was her baby, our sales have waned on it. So most of the sales were from January when we were feeding it.
But the good thing is you don't have to do anything. You don't have to package. You don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to flip it out. So that's the beauty of print on demand is you have a design, you get it up, and voila, that's it.
That's right.
It's not that hard. Okay. Because I was wondering, I was I kind of wanted to do something with some t-shirts and stuff, but I don't want to necessarily have it on my website. I don't want to do my own thing. I want to try that first. And then because I think that's a lot of overhead too, when you try to get the shirts and then do it,
Right.
Feel I would probably get stressed out just thinking about that whole process, down for a day and make the designs. I can do that, I can do the designs and then let them, that's okay. But it's almost time for us to say goodbye, friends and all. So I wanted you guys to leave everybody maybe with just a tip, but it's an overall tip, and it could be related to reselling, or it could be just a life tip. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be related to reselling, but just something that, you think might help in their career or journey. It could be something for a new person or somebody that's, going right now, just something, whatever you want to leave everyone with.
Yeah, I think my tip would be stay curious, keep your curiosity up. I think in the beginning, I was intimidated by random items like a giant TV or, electronics that I've never seen or something that I don't know anything about, but don't be intimidated by those things. Don't about shipping, just think about how much is this going to make me money, right? What's the cost? What's the profit? Okay, I can do this. Pick it up, go for it, because those are the items that most people would say no to, but those are the items that you're going to make the most profit out of. So that would be my tip. Stay curious.
I love it.
Yeah. So my tip, and I think in the reselling or business realm is, it sounds so funny, but we're talking about business, right? And at the end of the day, you're trying to make some money, probably for some reasons that we are, financial freedom. So my tip is, don't maybe I don't want to start with don't, but look for other opportunities and similar to Michelle, to expand yourselves. Try a little bit of everything, but when you try something new, give it time, 3 to 6 months before you quit on it, right? And go 100%. So for example, let's say you want to try a new platform like Etsy, for example. Do all of the things from, that you're supposed to do for 6 months, 100%. Don't dabble in anything else Focus on that. After 6 months, when you earnestly gave it your all, if you decide you don't like it, then throw it away. But give things a chance, and definitely, keep learning, keep adapting your business, because you don't want to get stuck in one place and not grow, or you could be missing out on a lot of fun. So that's my tip.
That was such good tips. No, I mean, really, because that's where I'm at right now. Like, the curiosity has, it never stops. See, that's what Carrie said. That was great tips. It really was. Look, everybody's like, that was very nice. Because, I mean, if you stay curious and then you just keep, you evolve, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, Terry's name, let's put her back on the screen. No,
yeah, that's right. Yes, she's got it.
I think that's one of the best names out there, like, who doesn't evolve always? Actually, that's one of my affirmations that I read in the morning. So that I am evolving always. It's crazy. And so I think about Terry every morning. No, I like that. But, but anyways, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and let the Flipping Girls go. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you want to find them, their YouTube channel is actually in this chat. And I'll probably have the link attached to this video, as well as the 20 tips or retailing. I think it was like the book. I think I put the link for the book on was it 20 tips not to do when you're I'm like,
right. Yeah, it's 20 mistakes to avoid, top 20 mistakes to avoid as a reseller.
That's what it's called. But I do think that you should grab that up, or, they have one that's free too. So, just that webinar, though, that Terry's talking about, when I'm ready to do Etsy, which right now I've just got so much on my plate, I can't do anything else. But when I'm ready, I definitely, will be trying to jump in on that, because I just love the way that you guys, the way that you teach, so it makes sense that you are a teacher, because, and then they come together. So the way that you guys do your stuff is awesome. So that's why I had you guys on here, and thank you so much for being on the my live tonight. I really appreciate it.
It was really fun hanging out with you. We appreciate it so much.
Indeed. And thank you all that tuned in tonight and joined in on the discussion and ran it in the background if you were out.
Yes, it was great seeing everyone.
Yes. Good night, everyone. We'll see you on the next live.
Good night.
Good night.